Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Heidi Monika Romer, and I get to be here with Leonela, a fellow United Latinas member. Welcome, Leonela.
Thank you, Heidi. Hello, and hello to everybody. Welcome to our cafecito. I hope you have your cafecito ready.
I love that. So, okay, I have so many questions. But first, I need to ask you, like, what? Say your name loud and proud. Where are you from, and what city are you in?
Yes. So my name is Leonela Gonzalez-Fogarty. I am a Venezuelan American with a Bostonian heart. And every time I say that, I love it because
I love it. I love it.
Boston really helped me to flourish as personally and professionally. Boston gave me my first teaching job in a two-way program in Framingham as a Spanish teacher. And I had the opportunity there not only to learn to teach Spanish, but also became a bilingual teacher. So I became an English teacher without knowing, without having in my plan. And in this experience in Boston, in Framingham, I learned about the power of diversity to really value who we are and what experience you bring to the table so everybody can learn more about your experience and we can learn together. And also the power of opportunities. I was able to complete a master in bilingual education at the University of Boston. And it's all because Boston is a welcoming city, value diversity, people from different places, and you feel immediately at home, like I did. Right now, I live in Arlington, Massachusetts. Is the next town to Cambridge. My one of my bucket lists and my goals is to live in Cambridge, and I'm getting closer, so I'm very happy.
You're like
Thank
this
you.
close, right?
Yeah, getting close.
That was a beautiful introduction. It really was. And I think I think that says a lot about, like where you live, and that's like your second home. I think that's pretty special. I moved around a lot, so I don't know. I still feel like the Bronx is home, but then when I'm here in Florida, I'm like, no, this is home. But like you're like, no, I'm a how you say Bostonian, right?
Yeah,
Bostonian,
Bostonian. It's
Bostonian heart.
interesting. It is interesting because I really feel that I belong to Boston. I navigate Boston the same way, Boston and the state, the same way I do Caracas, like in Caracas, Venezuela. It's like I really feel like I go here. I have lived in different towns, so I really feel like home. So
Oh, I
yeah.
love that. I
Hmm.
love that. And we have some really great things to talk about today, right? And I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I got it right. Um the thing we're going to be talking about today, it's serious, it's inspiring, right? It's powerful, and it's how to build speaking confidence when English is not your first language, transforming the fear of speaking into opportunity and truly owning the process. So, before we jump in and get to know you and your background a little bit more, I have to ask you, because as a proud United Latinas member and board member, how did you first learn about United Latinas and what made you join?
Yeah, this is a great question because as I was getting ready, I looked at when did I connect it to United Latina? It was in November 2023.
Mm,
Um, I came to this Boston again in 2015 with the idea to build my business and help adults to speak English with confidence. But I didn't know how to do it. I just started from zero. And as I was reconnected with the city, I started navigating the state and connected to Worcester, that is a hub for Latinos, and United Latinas was there. I met Ileana. But at the same time, I attended, there are a lot of opportunities here for small business owners, and I attended the summit of Alpha Women. Alpha is another organization for professionals that help us to connect professional small business. So over there, I met my dear friends and now business buddies, Dulce, who is another member of United Latina, Maria and Janet, and we all wanted to do something for the community. Like we were developing our businesses, and at the same time, we wanted to help others to have resources.
Love
So
that.
we ended up connecting with Ileana, and Ileana says, "Well, why don't we do this?" So we did our first like program November 2023, and from there, I just got connected, and United Latina has helped me to grow as a business owner, yeah, and to get that confidence, that network to be public speaking. I remember in that event, I could barely say my name in front of people, and so we joined it, and now I am part of the chapter leaders in New England, and I'm very excited to keep growing with the organization and helping others to grow as well.
Oh my god, beautiful. I love when I talk to members, and mostly everybody has really like a beautiful story, right? And it starts with either Eliana or Sandra.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And it really, it grows into this beautiful thing. And you said something, and I giggled a little inside, because you said, I wasn't even prepared to speak. And you know Leonela and I were actually on a panel together at the United Latinas conference in Charlotte, and Leonela was talking and like with no fear, and it was just wonderful, right? So just, I mean, right, like that's a short amount of time, you
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how this organization has been a part of that, right? Has been a piece of that, no, that's beautiful. um we're gonna jump right in, because this conversation goes so fast, and as I have gotten to know you and a bit of your story, I'm like, oh, everybody has to know this. Everybody has to learn more about this. Okay. So I'm gonna go right ahead. Okay. And the first question for you is, you know, when you think of turning fear into opportunity, such as you did, what was your personal experience with that fear, and how did you begin transforming it into confidence and opportunity?
Wow. um, the first thing that I can say is I learned English when I was 27 years old.
Wow.
I was already a professional. I studied education in Venezuela. I love to teach. I'm passionate about learning. And I wanted to learn about computers because in the year 2000, we only heard in Venezuela that the Y2K was coming. Some people may be familiar with that.
Oh
And
yeah.
the computers were going to explode. And that's the only thing that I heard in Venezuela. And
Oh
I thought a teacher without English and computer will be disconnected to the world. So I
wow.
say, okay, I'm going there. I have no fear that I was able to complete a master program because I'm a good student. Okay. However, I didn't know English, and I said, okay, maybe in a month I get ready, start studying English. My English was only the English that I have in high school, but I couldn't say hello, engage in a small conversation. But I said, I'm gonna get it. When I started learning English, I went to a traditional school. I chose intentionally to go to Colorado. So over
Mm,
there, I can immerse myself and have people that don't speak English surrounded me. And after 4 months being totally like immersed, traditional, getting A+, I faced my first fear because I went to McDonald's to see if I'm able to speak English and communicate because only in 4 months I was going to be in a master program.
wow.
When I, when I went there, um, I ordered my combo and they understood me, but I noticed that in line I was so afraid to talk.
Wow. Wow.
And when the person asked me for here or to go,
Wow.
that moment was crucial because I said, here go. I couldn't figure it out what they were asking. I
Wow.
only hear individual words, but I could not put in context. And I say, no, I am from Venezuela. And
Oh,
then It was like, holy cow.
Oh,
I thought he was asking me, where are you from? So that day, I realized, oh my God, I'm really afraid about talking to native speakers.
wow.
And I faced that fear and say, I do need to do something. Otherwise, I will not be ready to be in a classroom in a master program talking about education, which I love and passionate about. But how
Yeah.
can you do that in English if I cannot talk in McDonald's, you know?
Oh,
So
wow.
that helped me to own the process,
Mm,
face my fear. And in the language program that I was studying, I said, hey, I need help. How can I do to get more confident speaking? So they
mm,
recommend that you can talk to a language exchange person that they want to talk Spanish and English. And since then, I was like talking pretty much zero every day because
mm,
it was all about grammar and memorizing things by talking every day and start little by little connecting with something that I like and people that was open to talk to me. And that the fear start transforming there.
wow. So, as you're talking, so it's the same but different. So that's how. So I'm not bilingual Spanish, and
You're not?
no,
How come? Is it if I can?
I understand everything, right? And I don't know if you notice when we talk a lot, like you'll talk to me in Spanish and I answer you in English, right? Because I understand everything.
Uh-huh.
But and I do want to talk and I try to talk, but I also have so many times that's not how you say it. You're saying it wrong. That's not how we talk. That's not and I'm just like I'm not gonna okay, I won't talk anymore. So but you just said something that I'm thinking like, well, how do I get to be with a native speaker? Because I know a little, right? So I need to stop being scared, right? That I'm not saying it the right way and just to do it. So being at McDonald's, this is not a plug for McDonald's, everybody. They're
No,
not paying.
no, no.
It's
And
just
this experience in McDonald's happened 27 years ago.
wow.
It's like, but I think we all have moments that we, whatever is our path, professional, personally, that we have like, oh my God, this is not working. And I think it's important to be honest. And I'm very
Mm,
results oriented person. I love to be myself, to be connected with people. So when I realize, that there is fear here, things don't flow and I
mhm,
cannot talk, I have to do something about it. So I
yeah,
think we need to be aware of those moments, and in that fear, what you're saying, I changed my mindset completely. My first mindset was, no, I don't want to talk. I don't have the right words. It's not perfect. So it's like all these thoughts that we tell ourselves that the poor brain, it's like exhausted when it's time to talk.
wow.
When I realized you have to focus on talking, just
Mm,
say what you need to do.
yeah,
And as much as you do it, the brain, it's the one that is doing the calculations to help us to understand and speak. Like you say, oh, I understand everything, I just don't talk, because you need more practice.
yeah,
You have halfway through, because the fact that you understand already
yeah.
is so powerful. At the beginning I understood zero, so I needed to get to a point that I started understanding more. But other
Mm,
ways, we need to understand that acquire a language as a second, as a first language, second language, third language, the process is the brain doing those calculations. Let's say the
mm,
brain has a little chip that does that. We believe that we put all together, but you have to think about, all of us need to think about when we learn our first language.
mhm, mhm.
Our parents never told us, this is leche, this is a noun. Do you want a noun of milk? Or leche? No,
That's a good. That's
yeah,
a
this
that's,
is apple, this is red, this is an adjective. No,
yeah.
you talk to our parents.
That's good. Oh, that is good.
Now
Yeah,
what we need to work on, and that's what, it's listening, speaking, and engaging in conversation. Because
yeah.
what I needed as a professional at that time was being able to be in a classroom with other classmates talking about my
Mhm.
ideas of education. And I think it happened to all of us as a professional. And the same with you. Now, I don't know that if I answer your question, if you
No, you did. No, no, you and then we went sideways, you know?
yeah,
Okay. The second question, now think of the headline as learning without losing yourself. Okay. What helped you immerse yourself in learning and practicing English while still staying connected to your culture, your identity, and your voice?
wow, this is a very, very good question because for me, what helped me the most was to connect with English with things that I like, that I
Mhm.
enjoy. So the first one was the master in computer and technology and how to enhance the teaching. I love teaching, so for me that was like this is a fascinating topic, and even when you read in English, you kind of like figure it out things. So that is one thing, and and I love that so much that I talk to you, and I feel like my heart, because I really love it. I want that now everybody be bilingual. Then, and the other thing is in the day by day, I think that we don't realize that we get better at talking when we talk about personal life,
Mhm.
and your professional life. I don't know why in the field of linguistic we have separated, give me a few hours of business English, but you don't know that you have to be able to talk before who you are, where you're from. So I connected with people. I love sports. When I arrived to Colorado, I was a triathlete at that time, and I want, and in Colorado, where the top guys, Mark Allen, David Scott, were the most famous Americans in the world. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to their place. I'm gonna see these guys. So I thought that
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. So I say I'm gonna start to training over there, and I connected with people that were in sports. So that was something that for me I enjoy that, and I start connecting with people that. So to answer that, I will say connect with English or a second language with something that you like, and you start doing things like I volunteer for a lot of things, that I like. So it's like you connect with the language with something that you like, and when you're open to talk to people, that conversation start happening, without thinking.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty. I'm. You made me laugh though. You're like, I went to Colorado, and I'm a triathlete. I'm like, what? And then you're like, woo, okay. Like we're learning these things about you that we didn't know before. Um, Kind of on the same theme, right? Think of like the headline as owning the process. Okay? And I've heard you talk about this before, and I've also heard you really emphasize the word own, right? And I think that's important because that's being, at least for me, that's being accountable and responsible, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
The question I have for you is, for someone listening like right now, and those that'll maybe watch kind of our conversation in the future, um for someone listening who is still afraid to speak up in a meeting, on stage, in business, or in a new opportunity, what is one practical step they can take today to begin owning that process?
I will give you two.
Yeah.
The first one is to sit down and write all the things that you have accomplished and all the things that you have as a professional or as a person that have experience, that what do you want to share with others.
Mm.
This exercise, Valeria Aloe, another wonderful Latina leader, recommended me in order to own the process, to be more confident when I start navigating the business world, which is a new, world for me. writing this, it made you realize that we are already a person. We feel stop, or maybe no, I cannot speak English as well if I do it in Spanish, because we feel we're starting from zero, speaking the second language. And yeah, we started from zero if we don't know. However, you already know. I mean, we have a whole bunch of experiences. So the first one is write that down and make sure that you kind of like take it all in. Wow, this is what I bring to the table. This is what I love to do. Nobody has the expertise that I have, because that experience really counts.
Yes, I
The
love that.
second step is, okay, how do I communicate? So then maybe in a meeting, do I have, so I had a lot of Americans as friends, and I have a program um, in our, in our methodology that is called language panas. It's someone that in Venezuela we say pana is a buddy, someone that really helps you and is your best dear friend. So find someone in your workplace or in your life that is willing to help you to get better at your English. So I say, hey, I'm practicing this. Can you help me with that? And if you are in the meeting together, I say, okay, I'm going to say that. Can you give me at the end of the meeting, like, can we debrief? What do you think how I did it? You have to understand that you have to practice. You have to do it every time, every time. It's not
Mhm.
going to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for communication. And every time you say it, you get better. That's like that is what I bring when I was a triathlete. In
Wow.
order to get better at sport, and with any sport, you have to practice every day.
Yeah.
And then you see this meeting as the kind of like the competition. For me, that's like the real world. Okay, how do I do? And take it easy.
That was so, I'm again, I'm listening to you and you're like, yeah, practice every day. Why I'm not fluent? Because I'm not practicing every day, right? Um, that was very what you shared, like those action steps were is like something you can do right now. What you
Yeah.
just said, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I want to add one more thing, because I think this is important when I say you own the process.
Yeah.
When we are communicating with others, and now I have seen more that here there are more people that speak Spanish. So we are kind of like both. Some of us want to get better in English, some of us want to get better at Spanish.
Yes, yes.
So we really need to own that and said, as much as you speak daily, you're going to get better. But nobody will take you that practice. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody's going to tell you, hey, Heidi, you want to speak? No, you have to own the process.
Yeah.
When I realized that I only had 4 more months to be able to speak, in a language program with other people, I start talking to everybody in English. And was I afraid? Yeah, I started talking and I was afraid. And as you do it more, you get more confidence. And
Mm.
then you can say, for example, at that time, my roommates were in Cambridge when I was teaching in Framingham. They were one Venezuelan and one Mexican. And I say, I can be your roommate, but you have to talk to me in English, because in the day I only speak Spanish, so I don't have the practice in the day, but I can do after. So I imagine in Venezuela we can say gringo with affectionate, like Boston and her. So I imagine ellos son gringos, and
Yeah,
only you. Now I am very disciplined, and I'm very, so you own that. Nobody will take that. If you
yeah,
want to get something, you practice the strategy and you check the results. And little by little, I start talking to my friends, hello, how are you? What you like for dinner? They
yeah.
were students at MIT. So then
Wow.
also I start looking for, and they say there is a workshop today. So I immersed in the culture,
Yeah.
taking all the opportunities. And do I have an accent? Yes. Do I make mistakes sometimes? It's part of the process. I do not focus on that, and I own the process totally. And when you
Mm.
find someone, you can say, hey, because we speak and then people speak to you in Spanish, when they notice that I have an accent, or sometimes at the beginning I was struggling and people immediately start talking to you in Spanish because they see we're struggling. And I say, Thank you. However, I'm working on my English, Would you mind we talk English? There are
Yeah.
people that's gonna be say yes. There are people gonna say no. Just go with the one that say yes and keep practicing.
No, I love,
No,
and you
tú puedes practicar conmigo cuando quieras,
okay.
Heidi.
You hear this is recorded. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna like, Leonela, you have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Can I say something? I don't know if this is appropriate. I was traveling with Sammy, and I heard these words and I was like, I love them. I go, these are my new, it was like melocotón.
Ah,
I don't know why I love to say it, but I'm like, I say that real good, right? And then
muy bien, perfecto. Melocotón es
and then,
divino.
and then the other one was albóndigas. Right?
Oh
I
my
was like,
goodness, yeah.
I was
And
like,
what do you like about these words when
because
you hear
I
them?
think I say them great with a
Ah,
great
yeah, yeah,
accent.
yeah. You know, this is wonderful because this is a power of owning the language, being ourselves. There are
Mm,
words in Spanish that do not sound as well in Spanish than in English, even when you translate. And
mhm,
then there are words that have a lot of meaning culturally, you know.
mhm.
So it is important to be aware of that because, for example, the word bold. Remember we talked about it.
Yes.
Bold
Oh,
is a word that I heard to Iliana. It really for the first time. What is your bold uh, goal? And I keep hearing, in the business. So it's really embracing, it's owning everything you're doing.
yes.
Now that word in business English and in the American culture, it's really powerful.
Correct.
But there is no a word that in the Spanish world and Latinos, you have the Spanish people, and then all different. Everybody has a different word that can mean that. And in the panel, we were talking about that in Venezuela, if you are bold, you are cuatriboleada, and that's a word like you have, four balls, and you really did it.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I am with my Colombian friends, they say you are a berraca, because you
Mhm.
really are determined, you do it. So I think we need to, this is the beauty of language.
Yes.
And now that I'm
Amazing.
here in Boston with more Latinos, it's amazing how the Chileans, the Argentinians, everybody has a different word. And I think it's the same as I learned from more with the American culture now that I'm married and American. People from Tennessee have something different from Florida,
Mhm.
so, and then you also talk to people from Canada or Ireland. So there is a beauty of
Yes.
languages that we're losing that because
Mm,
we think that we have to have the perfect language, no matter what language you are speaking as a second language. So it is important to connect with those words and you connect with those words because you're doing such a great job with Sammy and all that. You start hearing people talking naturally. So that's the power of
yes.
connecting, doing something that you like, pay attention,
Yeah.
and then start building from that your daily practice.
No, I love that. This was, do you know we're almost out of time? We have to, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want people to lose two things. Let me see. Okay. As far as getting in touch with you, I have all your links. Okay. So after
Mhm.
this, we're going to put all your links. So if, anyone wants to connect with you and find out more about English for Life and what you're doing, we'll have the links in there. Um, I want to ask you before we wrap up. Oh, I could have kept talking. I feel like it was just getting better and better. We found our like groove. But is there anything you want to share with everyone? Anything you're working on, any events or any things that people should know about?
Yes. The first thing is that because of United Latina, I've been connecting with other networks, and trying to understand what do we need. And something that we specialize is really personalized experience. So people can own and get results based on what you need. So I had a podcast last night with
Woo!
um, Inversiones con Tacones,
Woo!
another from Charlotte, my first national speaker experience.
Yes.
And this is a beautiful community of Latinos in Charlotte. And we're going to do a workshop, Desbloquea tu Inglés, in June 27.
Wow.
So we have only 20 spots. Uh, Tacones, Inversiones con Tacones will have 10 spot, and the other 10 spot I'm open to the United Latinos or everybody that is listening today. If you
Wow.
want to experience, this is an experiential workshop, so be ready to talk and to see where the fear is, okay, and how you can engage in conversations. So it is June 17 from 7 to 9. And the information about that is in information. You will have it here, so you can do it and make sure that you say, I'm coming from United Latinas Live or any other community that you have. But you mentioned that you listen um, to the live conversation today in United Latinas.
Beautiful.
And,
Beautiful.
and the other one is with another network, Insight Networking, another former student. We're working on the first English for Life immersive business immersive experience in New York. So
Woo!
that's it on the making. Stay tuned and we will share that. I invite you to join my Instagram. And at last thing, if you really need guidelines for how to connect with English and where you're at, I offer a 30 minutes discovery consultation, complimentary, so I can guide you and see, you can see where you're at and yes, and see how we work.
Beautiful. Leonela, this was so much fun.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Thank you for sharing more about your story, your journey, your process. It was inspirational. You got me thinking, and we'll make sure everybody has the links to the events that you mentioned, and how to contact you. Okay. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being the best part of United Latinas.
Thank you, and thank you, you and United Latinas and everybody. United Latina is very active with a lot of webinars, cafecitos. This is a way to connect and immerse with English. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.